Hello, and thank you for joining this informative session brought to you by Harvest Wealth Management. We are glad that you're here, and more importantly, you are going to be glad that you're here. Over the next few minutes, you're going to hear some incredibly valuable and highly relevant information specifically designed to help you prepare for and live peacefully through your retirement. I am honored to introduce to you your host and the founder of Harvest Wealth Management, Eddie James. Eddie is a certified Kingdom advisor, pastor, advisory board treasurer, speaker, author, FINRA arbitrator, and fiduciary advisor. Ladies and gentlemen, James.
Thank you, Ryan. Welcome, friends. What a joy and honor it is to be with you today. Today, we journey into our past to uncover the roots of today's retirement challenges. Together, we'll learn how history can empower us to plan with clarity and boldness. So, today, we will be covering how to shield your assets from medical expenses, plan now for future healthcare costs, how to avoid nursing homes draining your savings, and how to preserve your dignity without sacrificing your nest egg. So, who is this webinar for? This webinar is for those who are nearing retirement but facing some very real financial questions. Questions like, will I outlive my money? Will Medicare cover all of my healthcare expenses? Will I have enough? As it states here, our firm's specialty is shepherding those who are 5 to 10 years away from retirement. So if you fit any of those categories, then this webinar is for you. I also would like to go ahead and share why I do what I do. As a Christian pastor, I'm guided by my faith. Here's my family, my wife, and my two teenage daughters. And below to the right are some of the organizations which I'm on the board of and certain certifications that I have because here at Harvest Wealth, we are guided by our values, our faith, and our virtues. So, why do we want you to stay into the end of this video? So I've had people reach out to me after receiving our webinar invitation, asking me, why are we doing this? Well, because over the last couple of weeks, I've had people reach out to me with their market concerns, and it has caused them anxiety. So it is my goal that this webinar gives you some hope and faith during this season. So if any of these or all of these are of interest to you, just mention it during our consultation, and we will provide these complimentary reports to you because we are more committed to providing you with peace during this time of uncertainty and anxiety. So, first off, you're not alone, and you're not wrong to ask these questions. Questions like, will I outlive my money? Will my Medicare pay for all of my healthcare bills? Will I have enough? Are we going to be okay during retirement? That uncertainty can feel overwhelming, even paralyzing, but there is clarity and peace on the other side of a well crafted plan. So, let me tell a quick story. A couple of decades ago, I sat at a table at our church office with a couple I'll never forget. Kathy and Michael had worked hard, lived below their means, tithed faithfully, and raised a beautiful family. But when retirement came, they were stunned to discover that taxes, medical costs, and market downturns were draining their accounts faster than they expected. We thought we'd done everything right, Kathy had said. These retirement obstacles, excessive tax burdens, unexpected medical expenses, state appointed decisions, and unpredictable lifetime income didn't appear overnight. They are the result of decades of change, choices, and policy shifts. And that was the day I committed to helping people retire with peace of mind, clarity, and abundance, not just in dollars, but in alignment with God's provision and their faith. So today I want to take you on a journey, not just through numbers and strategies, but through history. And as I shared earlier, our current retirement challenges, crippling taxes, overwhelming healthcare bills, court appointed decisions, and unpredictable income didn't just appear. They were built step by step over decades. So, by understanding that history, we can reclaim control over our own future. So, these four financial forces that none of the financial pundits are talking about threaten your peace and security in retirement. But more importantly, we're going to learn how to defeat them with wisdom, courage, and sound planning. So grab a pen and paper. You're going to want to take notes. But before we get started on today's Horsemen of the Retirement Apocalypse, let's take a step back and look at the big picture. Have you ever asked, how did retirement planning become so complicated? Here's the truth. Every one of the four retirement threats our firm specializes in has roots in history. Decades old decisions in Washington, shifts in American values, wars, recessions, policy changes, and sometimes even well intended laws that went sideways. We've inherited a system that wasn't built for today's longevity or today's economic landscape. But the good news is we can still build a better path forward. So, are we ready? Okay, let's take a look at the retirement apocalypse horseman, the one that affects your body and your bank account. In 1965, Medicare and Medicaid were launched, a bold promise to care for our seniors. It was revolutionary, but fast forward for 60 years and the reality has changed dramatically. Medical technology extended life, but at a price. Prescription drugs, hospital stays, long term care, they've all exploded in costs. Medicare simply just wasn't designed to cover everything. Let's look at Robert. He was active, healthy, enjoying retirement. Then a stroke changed everything. He needed skilled nursing care for 18 months, but Medicare only covered a part of it. His supplemental policy had gaps. His retirement savings gone in under 2 years. Now, many families, once assured by government programs, have since witnessed their expectations unravel as out of pocket costs soared beyond what was ever imagined. Past promises versus today's reality, where even robust policies have left significant gaps in our healthcare. That is why healthcare planning is just as critical as investment planning. You know what? Got to say that again. Healthcare planning is just as critical as investment planning. So, what if you could turn history into your guide and plan today for the costs others never saw coming? So, I want you to write this down. Hope is not a strategy. I need a healthcare plan. If this hits home, circle it, put a star next to it. Now, let's talk about something few want to face, but nearly everyone will: medical costs. Not the $20 copays, but the $5,000 to $10,000 per month price tag for long term care. The hidden costs that sneak in during our most vulnerable years and slowly drain a lifetime of hard work. In fact, 70% of retirees will need long term care. And according to Genworth, the average nursing home bill now exceeds $114,000 per year. This is the silent threat, but it doesn't have to steal your peace. Let me tell one more story. Last year, I sat across a couple, Constance and Steve. They were active, faithful believers in their late 60s, healthy, joyful. Then Steve had a stroke. Within 6 months, they were spending $8,000 a month here in Phoenix, Arizona for his health care. They had no long term care plan. Medicare didn't cover it. They started pulling from their IRA just to keep up. But here's the kicker: every dollar they withdrew triggered a higher tax bill under the Secure Act's new inherited IRA rules. Constance looked at me and said, "We did everything right, and still we're drowning." And that's when I knew planning for medical costs isn't optional, it's essential. Going back to what are we going to do about this? Step one, you have to shield your assets from medical expenses. Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." In other words, planning is wisdom in action. With today's laws, especially Medicaid estate recovery and stricter eligibility rules, many families lose their home or savings after a loved one passes just to repay care costs. But we use tools like irrevocable trusts to protect key assets from Medicare clawbacks or tax advantage annuities that preserve control while shielding growth, or proper titling and POAs to ensure your wishes, not the state's, are followed. So planning is your defense. Preserving your wealth is honoring your stewardship. Number two, how do we plan now for future healthcare costs? So, just like you wouldn't retire without a budget, you shouldn't face aging without a healthcare cost plan. You see, today's retirees can take advantage of hybrid life insurance policies with long term care riders, HSA accounts, still fundable if you're working, with triple tax free withdrawals and tax free growth. Also, you have these new Roth conversions windows created by Secure Act 2.0 here that completely change and reduce the future tax drag on medical spending. These aren't just strategies. We see them at Harvest Wealth as God honoring tools to care for yourself and your spouse with dignity. Because planning today means peace tomorrow, and peace is part of the promise. Number three, how to avoid nursing homes draining your savings. So if you've ever said, "I don't want to end up in a home," you're not alone. But what most don't realize is this: without a plan, you may not have a choice. Here at Harvest Wealth, we help clients fund in home care options, reducing reliance on state systems, and using Medicaid compliant annuities or trusts to protect your savings from being bled out month by month by month. So, this isn't about being afraid of the future, it's about refusing to let a broken system write your final chapter. Number four, how to preserve dignity without sacrificing your nest egg. Dignity in retirement isn't just about finances, it's about freedom. Freedom to choose where you live, who cares for you, freedom on how your legacy continues. Because without planning, you risk not only your wealth, but your voice. The right strategy ensures that you can age at home with grace. Your spouse is supported, not stressed. Your children inherit a legacy and not a list of unpaid bills. That's not just smart, it's faithful planning with a future in mind. See, we have taken a look in the past to see and understand how these historical financial roots can empower us to plan with passion, clarity, and boldness. But we've also seen the truth that we are not helpless. We are heirs to wisdom, capable of choosing stewardship over fear, strategy over uncertainty. Let's not be defined by our past, but empowered by its lessons. With sound planning, integrity, and faith, you can secure an abundant future. So, if anything you heard today sparked a question, a concern, or a wake up call, then you have some options in front of you. Now, as I say it, you have two options. Option one is you can take what you've learned and go out on your own. You can read the tax laws and make changes to your investment and retirement strategy. Is this really something you want to take on by yourself? Or you can go with option two. You can take advantage of this opportunity to book a complimentary consultation with me and my team. And in your consultation with us, we will create a personalized retirement plan that fits your unique situation at zero cost to you. So, who is this consultation for? Well, this is for those who want to build wealth and protect their assets. It's for those who want to make educated decisions about the best ways to sustain their lifestyles during retirement. And it's for those who don't want their nest egg negatively affected by market downturns in retirement. So, I'm offering a limited number of complimentary consultations over the next 2 weeks. We'll walk through your taxes, your healthcare plan, income strategy, and legacy documents step by step. It's a personal, private, and customized for your faith and your future. So, scan the QR code on your screen now. Spots are limited, and when they're full, they're gone. Don't let history repeat itself. Let's rewrite your future with clarity, courage, and conviction. To close, may God grant you wisdom in planning, courage in action, and peace in the journey ahead. And for those of us that are believers, we know that God does not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. I believe with all my heart your best days can still be ahead. Thank you, and God bless you.